Hey everybody, welcome to Pinetree Line. My name is Doug, and today I'm showing you one of my latest purchases. This is the RBM Outdoors Caminus S stove, which I'm using for my new RBM Outdoors up to mini hot tent. And the reason I chose this stove, well, there's a variety of reasons, but specifically there's a few features on this stove that absolutely made it a must, and I'll explain to you why after we look how this thing came shipped to me, how well it came shipped to me, and how I unboxed it. All right, here we go. Beautiful wood box, RBM Outdoors logo, Russian bear market, that's what RBM stands for. Cool little latches. All right, so let's open it up. We have a bag for the stove, and it's the same material that was in the up to mini. So it's that PVC type. We'll have a look at it. So that's a nice bag. Got the RBM logo. Be nice to put fire starters, stuff like that. Stand like that. Zippers on either side, and the handle. You got the instruction book. All right, we'll just take it out just like that. The door, and I have a tray for ash. We have handles on the top. Inside we have a set of gloves, and we have our stove pipes. We also have a ash shovel. There's a spark arrest for the top. More pipe. Just finished doing a first burn on the stove itself. Still pretty warm. Stainless steel stove, well built. This thing is built like a tank. It's 24 pounds. It's 18 inches long from tip of the leg to the other tip of the back leg. 12 inches from this tip to this tip. It's 16 inches high from here to the top, and the diameter of the stovepipe is 2.76 inches. Now, some of you are big into the titanium. I'm not. I like a heavy, well-built stove that I know is not going to fail me in any capacity. I don't need no flimsy chimneys. I don't need anything that's going to be a problem. So I know this is not going to be, because the stove pipe comes in pieces. So here's a spark arrest. That's the top piece. I got D-rings on the top here if I want to guy it out, but I shouldn't have to. When this is going through the RBM up to mini tent, around the stove jack, it's got 2 metal rings, and that'll keep this thing solid. So I just have to build the chimney like this. No fumbling around, nothing flimsy. Very well built stove. On either side of the stove, we have metal heat shields. And what that does is, depending on the configuration of the stove, how you're putting in your tent, you can keep these on, or if you decide you want to take them off, we got these little fly nuts and exposing the glass. This is ceramic glass. It is heavy duty, heat resistant, of course, and that's a really nice feature. There's a glass on either side of the stove. Now, if something were to happen by some crazy accident or fluke, one of these glass or both break, RBM has also sent 2 metal replacements for the glass. So they're not glass replacements, they're metal, but if something were to happen, these would fit right in here There's some bolts here, just take the bolts off and slide the metal in. In the front of the stove, we have a damper, and it's got a coil handle, so that's not going to get hot, and there's also a coil handle to open the stove itself. So we got a 6-inch by 5-inch. The stove box itself is about 12.5 inches long and about 8.5 inches high. And the reason for that is, and one of the reasons why I really wanted this stove, is a particular feature of the stove is the fact that when you're burning in the burning chamber here, as stuff is burning, there is a baffle all the way across the top of the stove, leaving some room in the top of the stove. So all your gases and smoke is going from the stove up and around, back towards the front, and out the spark arrest here. And the beauty of that is you don't have sparks flying up in the air, which end up landing on your tent and causing damage to your tent. So it makes the stove burn more efficiently. It also prevents damage to your tent, and that's why the pipe is at the front of this stove and not at the back like most stoves. That is probably the biggest feature why I wanted this. It's more efficient and saves your tent. And when you're spending a lot of money in these hot tents, you don't want to have to worry about some errant ash or spark getting on your tent. The other feature in this is down below here with also a coil handle is an ash tray, and they provide you with an ash shovel, so you could scoop out the ashes, remove the tray, dump them outside the tent. The other nice feature that they give you is a fire retardant mat that comes with the stove itself. And in the Up 2 Mini, the wall of the tent and part of the floor where the stove jack is does have fire retardant material on those areas. However, this is going to be nice because it's going to extend that, and the stove itself will always be on the fire retardant material, so that's nice too. There's a nice little window in the front here as well. Clips easy, super solid. The legs itself, they're just push button and they collapse in. So nice and simple, like that. So there you go, and then when you just push the button to get them back out. There's also a spark arrest inside this pipe, so you're getting the beauty of the way the stove is formulated in terms of burning the sparks and gases up in the top part of the stove. Also, there's a spark arrest here, and of course the spark arrest at the top of the stove. The other thing about where the ashes come out is this area between the bottom of the stove and this tray prevents heat from getting too low onto the floor of your tent, or even onto the fire retardant material, causing any melting. So you have a lot of buffers to make sure that you're not going to have a bunch of melted snow or what have you underneath the tent. It's just not going to work. The heat's going to be rising all the time, and you're not going to have to worry about any melting of snow underneath because of the way the bottom is and the way this tray is situated in this stove itself. It's a simple setup. It's gonna be worth the extra weight in terms of its durability and how efficient it is and how well it's going to burn. And that's another thing, you're not going to have to feed this thing as much as you would another stove, just because of the efficiency of the stove itself. I'll have a better knowledge of the stove once I start using it, and I will share that all with you. If you want to see my look at the RBM Up 2 Mini, I have the link in the description below, and we'll have further testing of this stove as we go along. Subscribe if you haven't. You'll see all my hot tenting adventures, and give us a like. We'll see you on the next one.